Have you ever felt a sudden shift after a moment of intense connection? One minute you're wrapped up in warmth and affection, and the next, there's a strange, chilly distance. It can be confusing, even hurtful, whether you're the one feeling it or the one on the receiving end. This phenomenon, often called postcoital dysphoria or PCD, is more common than you might think, and it's not just about a bad mood. Today, we are diving deep into the science behind this post-intimacy coldness. Why does it happen? Is it normal? And most importantly, what can we do about it? Stick around as we unravel the biological, psychological, and relational factors at play. First, let's get the terminology right. Postcoital dysphoria, or PCD, refers to feelings of sadness, anxiety, irritability, or melancholy after consensual sexual activity. It's not about regret or a bad experience. It's an involuntary emotional response. And here's a surprising fact. It affects people of all genders. While it's been historically discussed more in relation to women, studies show that men experience it too. A 2018 study published in the Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy found that over 40% of men reported experiencing PCD at some point in their lives. So if this has happened to you, know that you are far from alone. Let's start with the biology, because a lot of this comes down to hormones. During intimacy, our brains are flooded with a cocktail of feel-good chemicals. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone or cuddle chemical, surges, promoting bonding and attachment. Dopamine, the pleasure and reward neurotransmitter, is also at an all-time high. These chemicals create that feeling of euphoria and deep connection. But what goes up must come down. After the peak, these hormone levels don't just gently float back to baseline, they can drop quite dramatically. This sudden withdrawal from such powerful neurochemicals can leave you feeling empty, sad, or just off. Think of it like a hormonal hangover. Your brain was just having the party of its life, and now it's dealing with the cleanup. Another key player is prolactin. This hormone is released after orgasm and has a few interesting effects. It's responsible for the refractory period in men, the time during which they can't become aroused again. Prolactin also suppresses dopamine. So, right after dopamine has given you that incredible high, prolactin comes in and shuts it down. This hormonal tug-of-war can directly contribute to feelings of sadness or lethargy. It's a biological reset button, but the process can feel emotionally jarring. But it's not all about hormones. Our psychology plays a massive role. Let's talk about attachment styles. Attachment theory suggests that our early relationships with caregivers shape how we connect with others in adulthood. If you have a secure attachment style, you generally feel safe and confident in your relationships. You're more likely to see post-intimacy vulnerability as a positive, deepening your connection. However, if you have an anxious or avoidant attachment style, things can get tricky. For someone with an anxious attachment style, the intense closeness of intimacy might trigger fears of abandonment. After the act, when the other person naturally needs some space or falls asleep, this can be misinterpreted as rejection, leading to anxiety and sadness. On the other hand, someone with an avoidant attachment style might feel overwhelmed by the very intimacy they just experienced. For them, deep emotional connection can feel threatening or suffocating. The physical act might be enjoyable, but the emotional vulnerability that comes with it is scary. So, they pull away afterward to reclaim their sense of independence and emotional safety. This isn't a conscious decision to be cold. It's a deeply ingrained defense mechanism. They're not rejecting their partner. They're protecting themselves from perceived emotional danger. This brings us to the vulnerability factor. Intimacy is one of the most vulnerable states we can be in, both physically and emotionally. We are literally and figuratively naked. We let our guard down. For some, this level of exposure can trigger underlying anxieties, past traumas, or insecurities. After the moment passes, the brain might scramble to put its walls back up. This can manifest as emotional distance, a sudden need to check your phone, or an urge to get up and do something, anything, to break the spell of vulnerability. It's a subconscious attempt to regain control after feeling so exposed. Let's also consider the context of the relationship. Is this a new partner or a long-term spouse? In a new relationship, post-intimacy feelings can be complicated by uncertainty. You might be wondering, what does this mean? Are we a couple now? Was it just physical for them? These unanswered questions can create a lot of anxiety that surfaces right after you've been most vulnerable. In a long-term relationship, post-intimacy coldness can be a symptom of deeper, unresolved issues. If there's underlying resentment, poor communication, or emotional distance in the day-to-day relationship, it won't magically disappear during intimacy. In fact, the stark contrast between the momentary physical closeness and the ongoing emotional distance can make the coldness feel even more pronounced afterward. It can highlight what's missing in the broader relationship. So, we have hormones, attachment styles, vulnerability, and relationship dynamics all mixing together. It's a complex recipe, and the outcome is different for everyone. Now for the most important part, what can we do about it? Communication is everything. I know, you hear it all the time, but in this situation, it is the absolute key. But timing is crucial. Bringing it up in the exact moment the coldness is happening might not be productive. Your partner might be feeling overwhelmed or confuse themselves and could become defensive. Instead, choose a neutral, calm time to talk. Use I statements to avoid sounding accusatory. For example, instead of saying, "You always get so cold and distant after we are intimate," try something like, "I sometimes feel a little disconnected or sad after we are close, and I was wondering if we could talk about it. Have you ever felt that way?" This opens up a conversation rather than starting a fight. If you're the one who tends to pull away, try to communicate that as well. It could be as simple as saying, "I really enjoyed that, and I feel so close to you. Sometimes I get a little in my head afterward and just need a few minutes to process. It's not about you at all." This little bit of explanation can be incredibly reassuring to your partner. Another powerful tool is to create a post-intimacy ritual. Instead of just rolling over and going to sleep or grabbing your phone, build a new habit. This is often called aftercare. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It could be 5 minutes of cuddling. It could be getting a glass of water for each other. It could be talking about your favorite part of the day or a funny memory. The goal is to create a gentle transition from that peak state of intimacy back to a normal state of connection. This ritual helps to soothe the hormonal crash and reinforces emotional safety, especially for those with insecure attachment styles. It tells both of your nervous systems, "We are safe. We are connected. This is good." And if you find that these feelings are persistent, overwhelming, or tied to past trauma, it might be incredibly helpful to seek professional support. A therapist, especially one specializing in relationships or sex therapy, can provide you with a safe space to explore these feelings. They can help you understand your attachment style, heal from past wounds, and develop healthier coping mechanisms and communication skills. There is absolutely no shame in getting help. In fact, it is a sign of strength and a commitment to your own well-being and the health of your relationships. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate these feelings entirely. We are human, and our emotional landscape is complex. The goal is to understand them, to manage them, and to prevent them from causing harm to ourselves or our relationships. By understanding the science, the dance of hormones, the echoes of our past in our attachment styles, and the dynamics of our present relationships, we can navigate this tricky terrain with more compassion and connection. So, the next time you feel that post-intimacy chill, either in yourself or from a partner, take a breath. Remember the biology, consider the psychology, and lean into gentle communication. You're not broken, and your relationship isn't necessarily doomed. It's just a moment of human complexity, and with a little understanding and effort, you can move through it together, stronger and more connected than before. Thanks so much for watching today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are your thoughts on this topic? Let's continue the conversation. Take care, and see you next time.